let everybody know we're now going live on YouTube. We're now going live on YouTube. Act accordingly.
I'd like to call the meeting of the Barren County Fiscal Court. This is March 15th, 2021. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Jeff Botts.
Here.
Trent Riddle.
Here.
Carl Dickerson. Tim Coomer.
Here.
Mark Bowman.
Here.
Kenneth Sarton.
Here.
Ray Houchins.
Here.
Michael Hale.
Here. Thank you very much. In the adoption of today's orders, I want to add one thing. That is a request that came in from Master Custodial yesterday on a treasurer's report. So I think Jenny's prepared to do that. So in the adoption of today's orders, I'd like to add that. So I'll entertain a motion to it. So moved. Second, Bowman. Botts, second. Roll call vote, please.
Squire Riddle.
Yes.
Squire Coomer.
Yes.
Squire Bowman.
Yes.
Squire Sarton.
Yes.
Squire Houchins.
Yes.
Squire Botts.
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes. Indication, Master Trent Riddle.
Can you hear me just fine, Judge?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Let's pray. Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, I bow humbly before you this morning, giving you the thanks for all the many blessings that you have so generously provided for me and my family and for my county and my state and for this great nation, Lord. I pray that you'll continue to watch over us. I pray that you'll continue to bless us, lead us, guide us, convict us as we do wrong. And Lord, as we attempt to enter into the business of this county, I pray that you might send your Holy Spirit to preside over this meeting. Give us the ability to speak clearly, to think clearly, and to make decisions for the good of all the people of Barren County. And it's in Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
Man, stand by, please. To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I want to welcome everyone. Welcome the Masters here in person. And welcome everyone that has joined in by Zoom. We have several on this morning. The reason why we have a lot of business to get to. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of February 24th, 2021. So moved. Master Coomer. Second. Master Houghton. Any corrections, additions, deletions, subtractions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Squire Coomer.
Yes.
Squire Bowman.
Yes.
Squire Sarton.
Yes.
Squire Houchins.
Yes.
Squire Botts.
Yes.
Squire Riddle.
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, thank you very much. And also, Master Dickerson did reach out to me this morning. He had something that came up last minute that he was going to be working on, and he was sending his regrets that he will not be here today. So just wanted to let you all know that. Announcements here about 9:15. You're going to hear the tornado sirens go off. This is it's a statewide tornado drill. So at 9:15, not be alarmed and not take cover. It's just a drill. Okay, does any master have any report from their respective districts that they would like to share?
Judge, do we need to remind everyone of the 2021 Barren County Cleanup Week?
You sure can.
Okay. That starts on Monday, March 29th. That'll be in High School, Mill Street. On Tuesday, March the 30th, it'll be Park City Bells Tavern. On Tuesday, March the 30th, also K-City Volunteer Fire Department. On Wednesday, March the 31st, East Barren Volunteer Fire Department. Thursday, April the 1st, Austin Tracy Volunteer Fire Department. Also on Thursday, April the 1st, Haywood Volunteer Fire Department. Friday, April the 2nd, Temple Hill Fairgrounds, and also on Friday, April the 2nd, South Barren Volunteer Fire Department at the Steam Mill Road location.
Very good. And just to remind everyone that when you do bring your garbage, trash, whatever, we should have a piece of equipment to help unload the large items. But the small stuff, you have to unload yourself.
This is for Barren County residents only.
Very good. Okay, anything else for districts? All right, okay, we'll move on. My report, just give you a little update on the Barren County Judicial Center. We did interview 3 architect firms. The committee has decided to go with Integrity Architect, PLLC, and Ceilings Associates. So the next meeting will be March 31st, 1 p.m. Anyone would like to tune into that, we can get the Zoom link shared. Okay, the road salt online auction. Kind of time constraints here. We do need a motion to participate in this online auction. Action by the court.
I'll make that motion, Judge.
Okay. I second. Motion by Toomer, second by Bowman. Questions, discussion? Call vote, please.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarton,
Yes.
Squire Houchins.
Yes.
Squire Bott.
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Kamer,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, thank you very much. So the next report I have, I'm going to yield to Susan. On this, it's the snow, ice, and rain. She may even have some information about the salt as well. So, Susan.
Scott's gonna give it.
Okay, thank you.
Snow and ice removal 2021. We had overtime hours of 359.5 hours. Contracted truck drivers was 248.5 hours driving county trucks. Contracted farmers was 8,050 hours. We used a total 80.5 hours, I mean. The salt used was 145 tons. Brine used was 13,975 gallons. Currently, we have 200 tons of salt on hand, and we're still operating within the road department budget.
Any questions
Did I understand 200 tons still
on hand?
on hand? And we used 145 in this round, correct?
145 salt, 13,000 brine.
Scott, this report, what about the rain? I know we had a lot of rain.
He's getting,
Okay.
yep. Go ahead, Scott, you give your next.
Okay, the flood, we had roads where it was completely washed out, blacktop busted up, trees across the road, debris in roadways, shoulders washed, rock on ends of cross ties washed, tiles stopped up, materials used thus far. Dense grade was 193.29 tons. Channel lining, we used 133.20 tons. And we had to bring in Scotties to pave a section of road that was completely gone. And we are still continuing to work on damages from the flood. And we are still operating within the road department budget. And of course, we're going to participate in the reverse salt auction this year. Are estimated for 300 tons. And the county road right-of-ways We've been working on the right of ways are on the county roads. Thus far, districts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7 are completed with an exception of a few that have no right of ways found. So that will require further research. And that's all I've got.
Any questions?
I want to thank you, Scott, and the road department, for the hard work y'all done in this past month. I really appreciate it. I know I don't have a lot of roads, but I appreciate what y'all done in my district and all the districts, and all of you unified together. Yeah, I really feel a good response of what you all did and a good attitude, and I appreciate what y'all do.
Well, thank you.
Scott, I also want to say, I appreciate the way the road department is working together now. I appreciate that so much. And I know myself, like where the low water ford that we had that was washed out, I mean, y'all responded very quickly and remedied that situation, and just appreciate all the efforts you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we will move on. Thank you for that report. Okay, we'll move on to the committee reports. Jail, Chairman.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda was the jail files. We still have those files. We're working to try to get rid of without spending a bunch of money. I understand there may be a campaign in the city to shred files for businesses. They've already shredding files for individuals. And surplus unused equipment. There's 2 old refrigerators up there in the jail kitchen that need to be moved. They're just a bunch of junk, taking up space, and they're not fit for resale, really. And I was wondering if we couldn't just load them up, take them up. Well, we've got them loaded, take them on the interstate, and get what we could out of it. I know it's county property, but it's junk. Take from the interstate or the landfill, either one, as far as that's concerned, for what they are.
Yes, so I did go to the detention center yesterday. I took pictures of those refrigerators with Jailer Bennett, and in passing, talked to the maintenance gentleman, Mr. Piper, who has worked on those extensively. The court can take action to go ahead and dispose of, but we do have to take action to take them to get waste or whatever we want to do. But I think instead of handling them 2 or 3 times, let's just handle them one time, dispose of them.
In that case, I make the motion that we take them to mid-state, get rid of them once and for all.
Second.
May-
Motion and a second. Questions, discussion. Jailer Bennett, do you have something?
Yes, I was just wanting to know, I know we talked about the refrigerators. What about the old tilt skillet that you also took a picture of, Judge? Can that also be added in with those?
If need be.
Yes, sir.
The skillet that's broken, the old tilt skillet, I do have pictures of that as well. So if you want to add that in your motion, you can.
Okay. Let's include the tilt skillet along with the refrigerators then.
You okay with the second for that? Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Spark Sarton,
Yes.
Spark Houchin.
Yes.
Spark Box.
Yes.
Spark Riddle,
Yes.
Spark Coomer,
Yes.
Spark Bowman,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, thank you very much.
Next item was the need for a security light in the parking lot. They've checked with the EPB and they will furnish them, 4 of them for $64 a month additional charge. And that's 4 lights, and they put up the poles and the lights and electricity to them. We're checking on putting them in ourselves and just putting them on our meter. See if it'll save any money or not. So that hasn't been taken care of yet, but it's in the works. And the next thing is the budget. We'll leave that till later.
Okay.
I had a question on them lights. Is that $64 a total of the 4 per month?
64 a month total.
4, okay.
Okay, we'll move into administrative budget committee, the 21-22 jail fund budget. I'm going to pass out a proposed working budget. That's all it is, proposed working budget. I was anticipating all masters being here today, so Master Riddle will have to download you one essential. Okay, so what you have in front of you is just what it says. It's proposed jail budget. Jamie, would you scan and email this to Master Grill, please? Thank you. It's just a proposed. If you look at, and I'm going to get Jenny to explain a couple of things. There is some line items that we are adding to this budget in hopes that we can help this budget. We've had ongoing issues with it. We really hope that, you know, we can rein this in and make it work, because to be honest with you, I'm tired of dealing with it. So I want to credit Jenny for the work that she's done. She was here at 2:30 this morning doing work, treasurer work. So that's the dedication that she is showing. If you look at line item 03-5101-1860, that is accumulated leave time. That is something new that we're going to put in the budget. In the defense of the detention center, they had some folks that had retired that had a lot of accumulated leave, and we have to pay out that leave. So that took a toll on the deputies' salary line items. So Jenny has put in $10,000 of accumulated leave time. She has averaged that out. That's about $2,000 per employee annually. So, you know, obviously if we had several employees to leave, then, you know, that would definitely go over budget. But something we need to keep in mind moving forward with the budget, other departments are going to have the same thing. So we need to think about that as we move forward. And another food for thought, vacation time and comp time. Potentially, we could have to pay out both vacation and comp time. So that 10,000 is just a speck in the hat. So do we want to cap that somehow as a court? We do have the authority to cap that. I was in conversations with our CAICO attorney yesterday. The fiscal court can take action on that. But if we have to pay things out like that, we're going to be hurt. We're going to be hurt. Nothing against the employee, but if they're eligible, but we have to control it somehow. So that's a new line item. I appreciate Jenny just putting that in there, thinking ahead. Also 03-4563-30. That is the community custodial of the prisoners. She has put in that line item $775,000. I will get her to explain. Ms. Jenny, do you want to explain?
Okay, so the county is responsible for housing Barren County inmates. We have not in the past had that as a line item for revenue for the jail. The money had just been being transferred in, and it was showing in at the bottom on the transfers in, but we didn't know or couldn't point out exactly what the transfers in was going to. So I have attached to your budget that he handed out is how I came up with that $775,000. I would be happy to go over it line item by line item if you guys want me to. I can give you a synopsis of what I did. I took the previous fiscal year, the 1920, which was a normal year for the jail. And then I took the current fiscal year, which is a not so normal year because of COVID. On the 2019-2020, I did an average. I got a report from Beth from the jail, and she gave me a report that showed the total inmates and it showed the total number of days. So I came up with an average of days per inmate, which came out to 12. And then I did, multiplied that total days times the number of inmates and came up with an approximate total days. Multiplied those days times $31.34, which is the rate that the state pays for their inmates. And that's what was recommended to me to use by Jailer Bennett. So I come up with a cost to house the county inmates. And after that cost, I subtract the amount that the jail already receives from the inmates. They already have a line item for that. So it gives me an actual cost at the end. And so I did that for both years. And then I took both years, added them together, and got an average of the 2 years, which after subtracting the amount they received from the inmates, it came up to an approximate $775,000 a year for the county to give to the jail to house our Barren County inmates.
Questions about that so far? I just had a question about these people that don't pay their jail bills. How long do we finally owe part of their check, or it's just impossible?
By law, we can't garnish their checks, Magistrate Coomer.
Jenny,
Yes.
the line there for the $775,000, that's for the Barren County inmates. That is the amount that normally does not pay, correct?
Correct.
And there is also a line in their budget on the receipts, approximately 200,000 of the ones that do pay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions as it relates to the inmates? If you go back to the second line item, which is the deputies, you'll notice that it gets down quite a bit. Reason being, some of the folks that did retire that had higher salaries, that did affect that a little bit. We still have to have more discussion on that. The problem that we've had in this fiscal year is the overtime. There is discussion about making more salary employees to eliminate the overtime. It's hard, and you guys know this, it's hard to project overtime for a fiscal year. So these line items with any budget, there's no overtime in any of the salaries across the county. It's something that the department head has to manage. They have to know that when they're getting close, they either have to cut out the overtime or manage it somehow, or rely on those salary people to cover that overtime. So again, this is a proposed, we're not done. There's several tweaks we need to make. I know in the food line item, Jenny and I was discussing, I think the jail staff had said that there's going to be quite a bit of savings in that. It needs to reflect in this budget. You know, any and all savings that could be put here. I think one of the great things on the second page, the very bottom of the transfer in funds, if we can hold that 488, 415, we will have made great strides. So, any questions, any suggestions you want to ask? I know there's been a couple of you that's been knee deep in it, so.
You talking about working some of them. What about the comp time? How many can they work over there without being on comp time?
Well, I think it's just, and that may be a Taylor Bennett question, because they have to qualify for comp time before they can receive it. And I do know in discussion yesterday that if an employee is building too much comp time, that he can request them to take off and use comp time. So, but that is something that has to be monitored. But on our end of it, on the administrative end of it, we've got to watch that number, because, you know, if you have someone that leaves that doesn't like to take vacation or doesn't like to use comp time, and they're eligible, we have to cut them a check for that. So putting a cap on things, it's one of those things, well, I don't want to make anybody mad, but if you're protecting the general fund of the county, it may be something that we have to do.
You say we can put a cap on that.
According to the KCO attorney, Rich Holstein, we can take action, but we have to put it within our policy procedure.
Would it be a like so much money cap or so many days cap?
So many hours.
So many hours. You can't.
Well, but he said that we can, yes, we can adjust.
Can we do it by each situation?
I don't know about that.
I mean, if somebody's spent 20 years there, one thing. If they've been there 2 weeks or 2 months or something, you know, but you can't do that by individual circumstances.
I don't believe you can pick and choose. No. I don't think they do that in Orange County.
So if I may, I think that the cap, my feelings towards the cap would be that, you know, that was kind of the rules when those people hired in. You know, that's why they hired in, and a lot of them took lesser wages for those fringe benefits, and that is a fringe benefit, so to speak. And I'm not sure that you're going to be doing those people right by saying, okay, we're changing the game. Now, if you on new hires, I don't think that would be an issue to change the game. But if you're changing in midstream here, we're kind of backpedaling on policy. It would seem to me like maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
No, you're wrong. That's not really what I'm talking about. I am talking about this point forward, because no, it would not be fair to employees that have already built their comp or vacation.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Any more questions? Any more discussion? Again, if if you have any type of suggestions, bring it to us before the court hearing. That way, if there's anything we need to research, we're not sitting here wondering where it's at. That means you got to communicate with us. So, because a lot of times the question's asked and we have nothing in front of us that we can answer that question. So, bring it to us. We're going to have to jump into these budgets pretty quick. But today you have the proposed budget in front of you. Again, proposed working budget. That's all it is. That's it. Nothing wrote in stone. All right.
I have
Go ahead.
a comment if I could. I do appreciate the amount of time that has been put into this budget by everyone. Appreciate Jailer Bennett and his staff, Jenny and Judge Hale and everyone that's been involved with this budget. And sort of to highlight a couple areas in that, like Jenny said, you know, we are this time accounting for the Barren County inmates with the 2 line items. And then also, if you look at the transfers out, it's accounted for. That's the bond payment for the jail. And if you look to transfer in, that would be the amount of money that would be required to come from the general fund in order to make this a truly balanced budget. But I'll just state again, the key to this whole budget is that one line item there, that Barren County prisoners.
Okay. Motion to acknowledge the budget.
Make that motion.
Ouch.
Second.
Lots. Any further questions, discussion? Call it.
Spark Houchins,
Yes.
Spark Botts,
Yes.
Spark Riddle,
Yes.
Spark Coomer,
Yes.
Spark Bowman,
Yes.
Spark Sarton,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes.
Judge,
Yes.
Judge Hale, if we can go back to the committee reports, we missed number 3 on there. It was never touched. I don't know if we can go back and talk about it or if we'd have to do it another day.
See, we talked about refrigerators, tilt skillet, and what else? There's another one. I don't know. What did we miss?
Kitchen.
Kitchen equipment. We in the committee meeting, we talked about the tilt skillet that right now that ours went out, and that's one of the ones that we're going to take to surplus. But we're renting one now for $1,000 with an option to buy it for a total of $5,900, which we already have $1,000 into it.
I thought you wanted to buy the one we're using now for a backup. Is that right?
Yes, if we have that permission to do so.
Well, I move that we purchase the skillet we're renting now to have on hand for a backup.
At $5,900, is that correct?
That's a new one. There's comes off the rent, wasn't there?
Yes, it would be, the total would be $5,900. We've already rented it for $1,000, which they'd take that off. So it'd be a total of $4,900
That's what I understood.
with no interest.
Yeah, we'll get a second for more discussion. I'm gonna have the treasurer check the budget.
Okay.
Line item.
Second.
Riddle.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought I had that muted.
Do you know what line item you want that to come out of?
The food line item.
So when we had the meeting in, the other night, you also talked about doing a, mixer out of that
Yes.
line item as well.
Yes. And the mixer to fix it right now would be about $600 for the electrical board on it.
And how much for a new one?
How much for a new mixer?
A new mixer, right now, we're still waiting on the actual price, but a new mixer for a 40 quart, it's almost 15,000 for a mixer.
I thought we came up with a different price on that during the,
And that was for a smaller mixer. We didn't realize they quoted us for a smaller mixer. That was a 30 quart, not a 40 quart.
So it's 600 to fix it. It's 15,000 for a new one.
Yes, sir.
I say we fix it.
No brainer.
Okay. That,
And then the 5,900 on top of the 600.
Is there really a reason to have a spare tilt skillet if we ever had a spare one? If something happens, can we not just rent one from them again like we are now? Till we fix it?
well, it's really the only cooking element that we have. And this will actually give us two of them for the wear and tear on them, which our food provider, Kelwell, has actually given us a brand new one for completely free, which that brand new one's roughly about $15,000, which they gave us free. And we had an option to buy this one, but that would give us two cooking sources to be able to get more food done. So it's not as much strain on the equipment itself from just being used every day.
I'm confused. I thought it was $5,900 in total. We've been renting it for $1,000, so that's subtracted. So we would owe a balance of $4,900. That is, and that's for a new one. Is that correct? Dr. Man, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I guess I'm confused where the 15,000 keeps coming in at.
That's if they bought a new skillet. It's
New
a mixer, I'm sorry, new mixer. New mixer. So we're still looking at $4,600 total, right? So I guess my question is, if we pull that from the food line item, we're 66% spent in that as of March 16th. Does that look like that will cover for the rest of the year?
And yes, and it can be broke down into payments over 12 months interest free.
So if we pay $4,600 and we're going to end up with two skillets, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 49, but yes.
49. gonna have one that you rented was a new one.
It was 2 years old and it came from a school.
So where's the new one come in?
The new one, the food company themselves gave to us.
So we have one new one that the food company gave to us, and then we have a rental that is a used piece of equipment. And they're giving us a rent purchase. We've entered a rent purchase agreement with them. We paid $1,000 on it. We have an option to purchase it for $4,900, which will give us 2 skillets. One of them being brand new, which was donated. The other one being used for a discount of $4,900. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's no warranty on this used skillet either, is there?
Excuse me, sir?
No warranty on the used one we're talking about buying?
No, sir.
I would suggest that we use the new skillet that we've been gifted by the food company. We send the rental skillet back if we need it again. We can re-rent it. We can enter into another rental agreement with somebody else to give us another skillet. That would be my suggestion.
Now we have a motion. on the floor. You want to amend your motion?
Yeah, I have to agree with Trent that we send the one back and if we have to rent one, rent it.
For the price of,
$4,900 or $1,000 a month rental, wasn't it?
I don't think it was just $1,000. I don't think that was a part.
I understood it was by the month. How long has they had it?
My suggestion in discussion is the jail committee have a meeting and discuss all this. Unless there's something dire need that has to be a decision today, Jailer Bennett, does it have to be a decision today? Or my recommendation is the jail committee meet with you and you all figure out what you really need to do instead of, I think all of us are maybe not understanding the whole picture.
Once we send it back, it'll be back up to the price of $4,900, or I'm sorry, $5,900. Right now, since it's already here, they're giving us, because we had to rent it until our new one comes, which is $1,000 until our new one comes. So we're renting the current one that we have for $1,000, and they gave us an option to buy it. But once our new one comes in, we have to send that one back or purchase it. If we send it back, it will no longer be $4,900. It'll be back up to the $5,900 mark.
yeah,
I
so
don't understand how we're getting something free for $15,000. I mean, they just like us real well.
Well, we renegotiated our contract. Our food prices went down, and they also threw in a tilt skillet. They didn't want to lose our business.
The original skillet has lasted for 20 years. Is that correct?
It's been here for the last 10.
I recommend we just vote on this, and my recommendation would be with Trent. Let's just get over this.
I'll second that.
no, we don't. We got a motion.
I'm just saying, we got to vote on this one first, correct?
Yeah.
Or let's, can he withdraw it?
But Madam Clerk, read the motion on the table.
Motion was made by Squire Sarton, seconded by Squire Riddle to purchase the skillet we are renting now to be on hand for a backup at a cost of $4,900.
I didn't second that.
Sorry.
It didn't come from in here.
We had to have the second to discuss.
Yeah, maybe I did. Okay, go move on.
Let's call for a vote.
Okay, we have, votes been called for. Roll call vote, please.
Squire Botts,
No.
Trent Riddle,
No.
Squire Kimmer,
No.
Squire Bowman,
No.
Squire Sarton,
No.
Squire Houchins.
No.
Judge Hale.
No, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to old business, ordinance 654, related to budget amendment 5. Open that up for a public hearing for comment from public. I'll close and we'll adopt on second reading. Don't move. Cooper.
Second.
Second, Master Bowen, roll call vote, please.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Kimmer,
Yes.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarton,
Yes.
Squire Houchins,
Yes.
Squire Bott,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, ordinance 655, authorizing and approving the issuance of a Barren County, Kentucky general obligation bonds, the Barren County Economic Authority project. I'll open that up for a public hearing, comment. Close public hearing, we'll adopt on second reading. Item up.
So moved.
Feldman, second, Mr. Coomer, roll call vote, please.
Squire Kimmer,
Yes.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarton,
Yes.
Squire Houchins.
Yes.
Squire Bott,
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, new business, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to address the court for the 21-22 rural secondary program. We've got a few players on here this morning. Go Plump, if you would like. to
Good
take it.
morning. Good morning. Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, sir. Sounding good.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. I have with me as well Justin Young and Blake Williams. You'll know Blake. He's the engineering supervisor in Glasgow. He covers multiple counties for maintenance, including Barren. Justin Young is the recently appointed branch manager of construction and maintenance activities, who also covers a large area of the region, including Barren County. Justin will try to share his screen if that's okay with you, Judge. Are we allowed to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I believe at least the judge and the magistrates, you have access to the handouts. So per KRS 177.330, the Department of Highways shall notify each county fiscal court annually of our rural secondary roads program. This presentation represents our intention for the upcoming fiscal year 22, the upcoming fiscal year. Let me please note as well that the executive branch budget is currently being determined now by the General Assembly. So these numbers are subject to change. Rural and Municipal Aid Office gave us these numbers as projections, and we assume they'll be very close to this, but they are by no means final until the General Assembly passes that budget signed by the governor, which we anticipate any day. Okay, on that handout, you'll see at the top the projected allotment for fiscal year 22, $1,653,869. There was some carryover from last year, $85,967, for total funds available, $1,739,836. Now, the first line item is just our general routine maintenance and traffic on 145 miles of rural secondary roads in Barren County. This is 38% of the initial distribution cut right off the top. And this is for the day-to-day activities of labor, equipment, materials that we would use on any rural secondary road in Barren County. That's $628,500. Line item number 2, county judge expenses. This is true for every county in the Commonwealth. This is for administrative costs to the judge's office, $2,584.
Joe, I want to stop you right there. I want to let everyone know, because it was asked last year, that does not go in my pocket. That goes into the general fund, in case anyone wants to know. Thank you.
Very, very good. And I believe that comes quarterly. Is that right, Judge? It's broken out into allotments through the year.
That is correct, roughly about $700 and some.
Very good. The next 5 line items are projects that were identified by Justin and Blake based on the biggest need in Barren County on rural secondary roads. So line item number 3 is the first project, and that is resurfacing of 1.6 miles of Highway 1380 Oil Well Road, Renfro Road, beginning at the intersection with Highway 3179, extending northeast to the intersection with Highway 249, $132,509. Item number 4 is the second project. It's resurfacing of 1.2 miles of Highway 2143 Old Happy Valley Road, beginning at the intersection with 31W and extending southeast to the intersection with Highway 685, $118,351. Line item number 5 is the third project. It's resurfacing of 1.259 miles of Highway 255 Old Mammoth Cave Road, beginning at the intersection with Highway 70 and extending north to the end of state maintenance as you enter into the park, Mammoth Cave National Park, $125,917. Line item number 6 is the fourth project. It's preventive treatment on 4.5 miles of Highway 1307. So this is an ultra-thin treatment on New Salem Road, beginning at the intersection with Hollis Thomas Road, extending west to the intersection with US 68, Columbia Avenue, $239,608. Line item number 7 is the final project, and it's a preventive treatment, also an ultra-thin treatment on 3.4 miles of Highway 2207 South Fork Road, beginning at the intersection of Highway 252, extending northeast to the pavement joint just east of Bales Road, $182,466. The final line item there are the flex funds, which is 20% of that initial distribution. So this goes directly to the fiscal court for use on whatever roads you deem necessary, $309,901. Just a few of the things to add. I'm sure there'll be questions on these, so I thought I would go ahead and hit them just real quick and then open it up to any questions. So we have other projects, of course, going on. These are projects that are not related to rural secondary roads. Projects like West Main. Obviously, I'm sure you get calls and complaints. So do we. That project was bid a year and 2 months ago, but because of COVID, the lack of revenue, there were about $65 million of resurfacing projects across the Commonwealth that were delayed. So Scotty's has that contract, and they have now they've been released to work this spring, and they have until July 2nd to complete that work. So thankfully, from West Main, from 31E all the way up to the Courthouse Square, but not including the Courthouse Square, East Main, and then Broadway up to Front Street, it's about 1.1 miles. All that's going to be done in the next 3 months. We also have US 31W from the Edmonson County line up to Happy Valley Road in Cave City. That's 6.7 miles of resurfacing. So these are our primary routes, as you can tell. West Main, 31W, these are not rural secondary. These are primary routes. DeWeese Contracting has that contract, and they have until June 30th to complete that work. We are letting just this coming Friday a short section of US 68, that's Edmonton Road, from 740 up to Electa Salem Road. It's just 1 mile, but it's a needed section of improvements. Next month, this is now turning toward grade and drain projects. Next month, we have in the letting Highway 63 from Happy Hollow Road up to the Cumberland Parkway overpass. This is more than $2 million of work that will include all those curves. If you come down the hill from the Nunn Parkway, all those curves will be reconstructed, realigned, straightened out. There'll be some other curve widening, shoulder widening improvements, plus resurfacing of that 6.8 miles of roadway. That'll be started this year. And then Highway 90, the third and final section. So you know that we started from This is Burkesville Road. We started at the Cumberland Parkway back in 2009 and 10. We moved up toward Keno Road and years afterward. And that third section has been paused just due to a lack of state funding. That's a $13 million lift. That's 4.2 miles of modernization and shoulder widening, in addition to the 1 mile bypass around the community of 88. We are hopeful, no guarantees, but we are hopeful that that is actually going to go to a letting this summer. So that's great news. I hope you think so as well. When we presented to you last year, just around the time the COVID was hitting, we presented to you a list of rural secondary projects. Because of the revenue challenges, those projects were not bid until December. So you're going to see last year's work that we presented plus this year's work all in the mix in the year 2021. So there's a backlog of need, and we are excited to get that done for the community. Happy to take any questions that you have.
Any questions?
I think 740 and 314 are still on the list from last year.
Pick your mic up, Matt.
Yes, sir. Does that mean that, I know last year we had a section of 740 from 6880 to 70 on the list, and Highway 314 from 70 to the Metcalfe County line? Are those still on the list?
Yes, that was last year's presentation. Those were delayed until December. They were in the December letting, so that work has been bid. Blake maybe can, or Justin can help on the completion dates, but I anticipate that work will be going on throughout this calendar year.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? So I appreciate every time we reach out to you guys that, you know, you're always willing to help, calling us back, all that great things. And we'll probably continue to call you. So you all are a great resource for us. So if we can help you all, don't hesitate to call us. But thank you all very much.
Thank you, Judge, and thanks for the opportunity. If no other questions, you know how to reach me, call or email or text anytime.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I need a motion to acknowledge
I'll make that motion.
spots,
Second.
absence. Roll call vote.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarton,
Yes.
Squire Houchins.
Yes.
Squire Botts,
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Coomer,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes. Very much. Okay.
For the information of the court, the work has already started on 31 Douglas from Edmonson County to Cade City.
And also for information, if you want to contact your legislator on the gas tax, because a lot of these numbers are affected by the action that they take legislatively. So contact your Senator Gibbons or Representative Riley, voice your opinions on that.
I talked to Riley and or left word, he never did call me back. But I heard he was on the fence with this.
Okay, approve the payments of claims as presented.
Motion.
Box. Second. Bowman, questions, discussion? Any questions?
I have a quick question, Judge. We had some training on there, and I can't pull it up here while I'm talking to you, but we had some training, I think, from the jail, and there was seemed like it was $850 for the room and then the training. And was that I'd just like to know how many days, how many people attended that? Do you know? Is Aaron still here?
Yes, I'm still here. What was the question, Mr. Riddle?
The training, I think it was $850 for the rooms and then plus the training. How many people went to that training? I can't pull the line out of muck because I can't get both of them. I'm trying, but I can't.
Other masters, do you all have that?
I don't remember seeing it. I went through it all. I can't find it, but I think I remember looking at it. Where was the training at? Taylor Bend.
Louisville.
Judge Bennett, did you say Louisville?
I broke up. I didn't hear everything.
Yeah, they wanted to know the location of this training. I believe what Pastor Riddle.
It's going to be in Bowling Green, I believe.
Okay, well, I have a copy of the request that was turned in, and I think Pastor Riddle, you're for the dates of June the 6th. I pulled this out. I mean, I was gonna know that we're not supposed to prepay. I don't believe that rooms are acceptable for Bowling Green when we can drive back and forth. We have vehicles to do that. We pay mileage. So I mean, I'm not going to vote for this. So.
I found it here. This is it. It says Courtyard by Marriott registration conference, $871.05. That's upcoming. This is something that's done, not passed.
No. This will
No, it
be
hadn't happened yet.
June, check in June the 6th, check out June the 10th.
So how many people will attend that? How many class hours is there? And what does the training consist of?
The training, we haven't had a complete itinerary on it yet, but it covers all jail operations, legal, you name it. Whenever they do the conference, they and going to the training out the week would be for about 6 different ones.
So it's going to be in Bowling Green, not Louisville. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just don't. I'm with the judge on that. I think we can drive back and forth and save those motel fees. It's my opinion only. I don't know about the prepay. I don't know how that works, but seems like it would be a lot cheaper to drive back and forth.
I have 3 attendees on this claim that's attended this conference, 3 names. You still with us, Judge Lorraine?
I'm still with you. Sorry, I've got bad connection.
Yeah. So repeat myself. I have 3.
Can you hear me now, Judge?
Yeah, I can hear you. But I have 3 names that attendees. You said there will be 6 attending?
Yes, for the Class D training, and then maintenance also goes down.
So whether your registration is going to be wrong because you only have 2 deputy jailers that are signed up with a payment of $125 apiece. That's a total of $250, and then the jailer registration. So I'm not sure how they're going to be able to attend if they're not registered for this form.
I'm fine with I'm fine with the rooms not being there. That's good. That
Okay, any other claims? Questions on?
Just agree with you and Trent. I don't think we need to pay. If it was Louisville or Lexington, I can understand, but I don't think we need to be paying for rooms in Bowling Green.
So we're taking 6, which is going to raise the cost. We're going to take 6 people instead of 3, which is going to change the enrollment fees. Is that correct?
That's what it will change it to, because right now it's just $475 with.
yes, sir. There'll be myself and 2 for sure, and we're trying to work out the others depending on what's going on here at the jail at that time.
So can we have a little more accurate, we exclude the motel rooms, overnight stays. Can we have a little more accurate estimate on that cost by next meeting?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I'm gonna make a motion to amend that we pull this one claim out. That was given to us by the detention center. Does that have a number of law to it other than 9834? Well, there's purchase order 9834 that was requested. Yes, that is the registration, and then the 9829 purchase order for the hotel rooms of $871.05. And that's my motion.
I second that motion.
Second by Bots. Any questions on my amendment? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Squire Sarton, Squire Houchins,
What are we voting on that?
Amend to take out the registration and the hotel rooms.
Yes.
Squire Botts.
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Cameron,
Yes.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, so now we have the main motion to accept all other claims as presented. Any more questions about that? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Squire Houchins,
Yes.
Squire Botts.
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Cameron,
Yes.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarton,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, thank you. Approve transfer of funds.
So moved.
Coomer,
Second.
Master Houchins, questions, discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Squire Botts.
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Cameron,
Yes.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarton,
Yes.
Squire Houchins.
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, thank you very much. Approve budget adjustment.
Motion.
Bots,
Second.
Houchins, questions? Roll call vote.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Cameron,
Yes.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarton,
Yes.
Squire Houchins,
Yes.
Squire Botts,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, thank you. Approve monthly financial statement, February 2021, subject to audit.
So moved.
Houchins,
Second.
Coomer, questions? Roll call vote.
Squire Cameron,
Yes.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarton,
Yes.
Squire Houchins.
Yes.
Squire Botts,
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, thank you. Approve official settlement, February 2021, subject to audit, county attorney, county clerk, and the sheriff.
Motion.
Riddle,
Second.
Bots, questions? Roll call vote.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarton.
Yes.
Squire Houchins.
Yes.
Squire Botts.
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Cameron,
Yes.
Judge Hale.
Yes, we're going to skip over the personnel actions today. We'll go to the economic development report. I think Maureen has already got off here. Master Dickerson asked me just to relay to you all. Matter of fact, let me just turn it over to Master Bowman, because you're a director of the authority, and I'll let you discuss it. Okay, even better.
Well, I sure do appreciate that. Anyway, a lot of good things are going on in Barren County currently at the economic development. Maureen is doing just an outstanding job as she guides us through this. Of course, you know, some of the things that have taken place within the last few months is that they have moved to a new office here on the square, 126 East, 126 East Public Square. And then also there was property purchased out on 6880 South Cooper Road for about 155 acres or so for industrial development. And then also, as we voted on today, the second reading for a bond, and that's to continue our improvements to some of the property out there South Cooper to hopefully have some pad-ready sites or for potential vendors that will be supplying maybe one or more companies here as they come to our community. So just a lot of things that are happening at this time. Appreciate the willingness for everyone to work together. Our court, Barren County, Glasgow City, and then also the Chamber of Commerce has joined us. And so we're thankful for that. And so as we move forward, we're just one team trying to secure as many jobs as we can for Barren County.
And I appreciate Master Bowman and Master Dickerson. They've been very active through this process, along with our other director, Urban Sorrell. And we met with Cave City, myself and Maureen, last week. They are wanting to participate in our bond, to utilize some of our bond for Chapacha Park and Cave City. So they will be helping us pay some of the debt service for this bond. So the city of Glasgow will be discussing their interest in this, whether they want to do their own bond or how they want to fit in here. But anyway, that's where we're at. I greatly appreciate the work that's been put into it. So with that, is there any questions up to that point? Okay, so what we added to the agenda is a treasurer's report. And we can share the screen, Tracy. And then Master Riddle, if you have questions about it, you should have these in your packet. You receive them monthly, so that you should be familiar with. Okay, there you go. Jenny, if you'd like to take off, or Master Riddle would like the questions.
This is provided every month to you in your packet, the monthly financial, that is the treasurer's report. I don't know if you have specific questions you wanted answered. I'm not really sure.
So when we total all of our funds up there, how much cash do we have available? Do you know?
It's at the bottom of that.
Be three. I
The report,
can't see it.
there's a report total at the bottom.
Yeah, but barely can see it. Could you tell me what that total is?
It is $7,675,853.79.
Okay, so we are in the month of March. Our fiscal year ends in July. Do you have projections as to where we're going to be at that point in time?
I do not as of yet. That could be done.
That was my biggest question, is how are we projected? Not exactly. I understand we get the report sent to us every month. There's no questions about that. My main question was, how are we looking to finish this fiscal year?
Well, I'll be more apt to do that around June. I would be able to give you more accurate numbers. Right now, I could estimate it, but I don't know how accurate it would be.
Okay. Do you have any idea how much property tax is still lingering out there?
So I had a discussion with Sherry Hammer yesterday. We have collected 97% of our total property tax to date. Feels like we may be bringing a little more in. That is, and I think we've done a lot better at that. I have to credit the county attorney for some of that because she is going after delinquent property taxes as well. So that's where we're at today.
That's a pretty good number, 97%. That's not bad.
I think that's excellent, especially given the year we're just, dealing with COVID.
Yeah, because that was an issue, at the beginning of the year. Was everybody going to be able to pay their property tax? I mean, it was a big question mark. And so to know that 97% has been paid that's a really good thing. 100% is going to be better when we get it. But I think that was a concern early on, that people may not have enough money to pay their taxes. So it's good to see that we have that in there.
You said something about the debt service too, Pastor. I think we've got a slide on there if you'd like to see that, the annual payment.
So this is included in your quarterly report. At the end of each quarter, I submit the long-term and short-term liabilities. Right now, we only have long-term, but some could possibly be moved to short-term. But if you check your quarterly reports, that will be in there.
I understand.
I was trying to find that. Can you enlarge that a little bit on the screen?
Yeah, I can't even read mine. There's no way. I mean, even with a magnifying glass.
How about that?
That's getting better.
Yeah.
And I will say that on the liability of the body scanner for the jail, they're paying that off this month.
And then the upcoming debt service for the bond, we'll have to add that in to our budget. Our upcoming budget. That does not reflect on there.
So not to confuse the issue, and maybe it's something we need to talk about later on, but if we move forward with this justice center, we have to, and I know everybody's aware of that, we have to start looking at how we're going to take on the debt of the existing building.
Yes, so you're looking at about 2024. Where that's at. My projections on that is we will owe less than $1 million once we take that over. Hopefully, by building the rainy day fund, the plan would be to just pay it off once we took it over, and then not have to contend with it.
Okay, so I have other questions. If you you know, if you can put some projections together, that would be, that would be interesting to see where we're going to finish out.
Okay. Ash, any other masters have any questions? Okay, good deal. So that's it. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay.
I make a motion.
We have one by Coleman, one by second by Bots. Consider yourself